Offer extended. Offer not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my Mortgage Market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Call or click 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.
This is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. You chose to be here. This is not by accident that you're here now and in this program. You want to take your performance to the highest level. You want to dominate. You physically work hard. Now that's important. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available to you. Not just for some, but for you to live it fully. You can do it too. Enjoy this journey. This program is your secret weapon. Be a Beast on Nelson Radio.
And this is Be a Beast right here on Angels Radio, AM 830. I'm Nelson, and a happy new year, 2014. I'm with Dave Austin, mental performance coach, and we want to be your performance coaches kicking off the year. We're in the moment, the season of the resolution, and so many resolutions, so much of goal setting that takes place at the beginning of each and every year quickly fades. And so we're going to talk about how to avoid that, and specifically action steps to take, triggers that will snap your mind back into gear so that these goals that you've laid out for yourself don't subject themselves to the fade and disappear. You can reach out direct, 888-888-2136 to find out more. You can text the word BEAST to 313131, and Dave or I will respond directly, or you can click through at extremefocus.com. Dave, this is an incredible time of year. I love this time of year, but what happens so often at the beginning of the year with resolutions and goal setting?
We all get excited. You know, it's kind of everything's new, so we jump right into it, but then it starts to fade away. You know, last week we learned about Deputus, you know, the meerkat, and we, you know, the DE is the ultimate, you know, what is your goal? Know your goal. Then the purpose. What's your value you put behind your goal? And then the timeline. You need to know that timeline. And then the S in Deputus, your strategy. So we're going to continue that on today, you know, with Deputus to take it even further so that when you set these goals, everyone's excited. They're not just set and then lost, but they're lived.
And this is what I'm seeing. Now, here I live in Orange County, and I'm down in the beach areas, and I'm watching so many people that are out in their Christmas running shoes. They're out on the beach, they're running, they're exercising. I can tell by their tan lines or lack of them that they haven't been running a bunch. But I'm seeing, all right, here's the resolution crew. There's thousands of runners up and down the beaches of Southern California right now. And the sequence that I see is week 1, they're tying the running shoes on. They're out there running. Week 2, they're so sore they can't reach down to tie their running shoes. Week 3, those same running shoes get hung up for the year, and the goals are lost. The value of that goal has been lost. Pain has gotten in the way.
Absolutely.
And it's faded.
It's faded because they lost sight of what was the reason they even started it. You know, they got excited. The moment they hit a roadblock, pain, as you mentioned, it's like, it gets a little bit tougher. Today on this show, I'm so excited because we've got a very, very special guest coming up, you know, who his first book that I learned, I mean, it wasn't his first book. It's the first book that I learned about Greg Reid was 3 Feet from Gold. And it's, you know, back in 1935, Napoleon Hill wrote a book that is so powerful today, still one of the top selling, Think and Grow Rich. And what Napoleon Hill did was studied how do those that really get to success, how do they stay with that success? How do they get through those roadblocks? So he interviewed the top achievers in the world at the time. And Greg Reid, who is working with the Napoleon Hill Foundation on this, brought out 3 Feet from Goal and studied our achievers today. But not only how you stay on your goals, but then also those that stop. Why do you stop?
Ties in so well with the recent release, Stickability, and the stick-to-itiveness this perseverance, because, okay, everyone in the media presents the finish line, that moment, that golden moment, the hoisting of the trophy, the breaking of the tape, that exhilaration, that emotion that everybody wants to tie into. But what's lost in that translation is everything that led up to that, the days, hours, weeks, months, years of training and pain management and disappointment and sidetracking of life events that get in the way. And that's why this Deputus serves as such a valuable trigger, because when you're faced with that moment, the mind trigger is simply in your mind saying the word Deputus that has you realize, all right, what is my ultimate goal? What's the value of that goal? Where's the start? Where am I in my progress? What's the finish line going to look like for me? And then that process that we all go through. And so much of it, I mean, Dave, in your testimony, has everything just ended at that finish line, or have there been a couple of distractions along the way?
We have over 60,000 thoughts a day, and it's where you want to put your focus. And part of what we've talked about many times is getting it narrowed down to be very clear, very precise. And that's what, as we're talking about bringing on Greg today, which what I love, because he's going to bring a whole nother side to it with all the people that he's interviewed. And these are outstanding achievers, but they've gone through roadblocks. You yourself, I mean, you played at, a world-ranked player yourself. We both have had that experience. We know from that experience that there was a lot of times where you wanted to throw in the towel, basically. But you would have never been given the chance to play at Wimbledon and play on that court and have these memories if you hadn't fought through those.
And that kind of perseverance, and all kidding aside, distraction and overcoming those distractions, those areas that sidetrack. I have so many people that will submit to those kinds of moments, and it disrupts their goals, so it disrupts their achievement. And something that you and I have talked about, and this is not my own statement, but it's what's happened so often. If you do what you've always done, you'll always receive what you already have. If you do what you've always done, you'll always receive what you already have. And this is what happens in goal setting.
Well, this is a perfect time of year to be talking about this, because if you look at patterns, every January, exercise equipment, health, nutrition is on the center of everyone's mind. So this is the biggest time of year that physical fitness products sell, but then they just die off come February. And part of what we want to do in this show is keep you in the game, keep you playing throughout. You earlier today, before we came on air, you were talking about how you started it in October.
My resolution started in October so that the habits were formed, and I'm already in sync and engaged towards my progress come January, as opposed to subjecting myself to the quick run up, pain distraction up, I'll save that goal for 2015 kind of mindset. You're going to be able to find out more about this right here on Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. Contact us direct, 888-888-2136. Greg Reed coming up, 888-888-2136, or text the word BEAST to 313131.
Ducks Radio AM 830, KLAA.
Be a Beast on Nelson Radio spends a lot of time vetting out true professionals. Insurance Inc. is one of our best. Cutting premiums up to 40%. Insurance Inc. We want you to contact them direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or go to insuranceinc.com.
Protect your family's future with an AmeriState Living Trust. It doesn't take as much time or cost as you may think. If you own a home or have children, you need a living trust. With an AmeriState Living Trust, you can protect your family and have peace of mind. The experts at AmeriState Legal Plan have helped more than 35,000 families safeguard their future. Their services are half the cost of pricey law firms. Don't delay any longer. Call today, 888-888-2136, and get an additional $250 off. AmeriState Legal Plan. Looking forward, planning wisely.
Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136. 2136 or text BEAST to 313131.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
And that is Sarah Blaine. You're on Be a Beast with Nelson and mental performance coach Dave Austin. Your action step is to contact us and engage in this training system. We are professional coaches that are going to help you realize and set steps in process, not just to set goals, but to have a clear path to follow to realize those goals. You can reach us direct, 888-2136. Click through at extremefocus.com, or easier yet, Dave, simply text the word BEAST to 313131. And I want to hear this introduction into Greg Reed. We're so excited to have him with us.
It's so great to have him. Hey, check this out, Nelson. Here's a quote from Greg. Stop letting people who do so little for you control so much of your mind, feelings, and emotions. Let's welcome Greg Reed to Be a Beast Radio.
And then the crowd goes wild.
And the crowd goes wild. What about that, Greg? I mean, we're obviously influenced by the community, and we've been talking about how the community of people around you, whether that's friends, family, a larger scale, employees, how they can either positively move you towards your goals or get in the way.
Well, absolutely. And we got to remember the famous quote by Jim Rohn that we are a direct reflection of the 5 people we associate with the most, and our attitude, our income, and lifestyle is the average of that group. So it's very important to obviously choose our friends very wisely.
And so that said, in terms of this time of year, we've been talking about the value of goal setting and having the purpose, that value proposition retained, so that as you go through those different life circumstances, distractions, pain, injury, business shortcomings that come up, what have you, where the value diminishes and all of a sudden that goal gets dusty and fades away. Coach us a little bit about, from your perspective, what you've seen with these other business leaders and what they do to persevere and push through.
Well, it comes down to the difference between being, interested in something and being committed. I mean, Dave and I have had a deep conversation about this in the past. You see, if you open up a brand new restaurant because it's a hot trend downtown, well, as soon as there's challenges, you might fold up the shop and close down. If you took over the family Italian restaurant that's been around for 8 generations, you might, when you're faced with the same challenges, find a way to see it through because you want to pass it down to your heritage, that you want to go to the next generation. So the difference is between being committed to something and just being interested. And it's the people that commit to their goals, commit to their dreams, commit to what they want in life. Those are the ones that will actually have that stickability to see it come to fruition.
This is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. Call us direct. You'll be able to find out more. 888-888-2136. Click through at extremefocus.com or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. I want to ask you about this, Greg, because you mentioned in your coaching and in your presentations about the higher standard. And there's that thought that, that achieving your goals, pursuing these kinds of things can either be tough or easy, but it can be simply easy, can't it?
Oh, absolutely. Everything's simple, but the realities are it's just following the successful actions of other people. Like, it's kind of interesting. A few years ago, I went to Africa, and I climbed and summited Mount Kilimanjaro. And people said, how did you go from the beach of La Jolla to the roof of Africa? And here's the answer. I did not ask some surfer kid in La Jolla to take me up the mountain. I found a Sherpa that have climbed it 400, 500, 600 times. I hired them. Wherever they put their boot print, I put my boot print right on top of it because I knew that they knew the destination. They knew to get to the top. That was my goal and dream. So by just following the people that are already getting the results I want, I realized that I could get them myself.
Oh, that's awesome, Greg. Hey, Greg, you've got a new book out, Stickability. I talked earlier about how I loved 3 Feet from Gold, but now Stickability. What would be your favorite, from your research? You do so much research and talking to successful people. I've been at some of your seminars you put on, which are awesome because you bring such gifted, when I say gifted, these are people that have been through it all but have achieved whatever it's taken to do that. What's your favorite thing coming out of your new book, Stickability?
Well, I think it comes down to a parallel word, flexibility, meaning if you're not willing to adapt, if you're not willing to adjust, you'll end up just being stuck. And one of the stories that came out was the spider monkey. And what it came down to is in the rainforest, the most quick, nimble creature is a spider monkey. They could not capture it. But one hunter figured it out. He took a heavy log and drilled a tiny hole inside and dropped a peanut in the base of the jungle. The monkey would smell the nut, come down, reach his hand inside the hole, grab a hold of the nut, and its fist would become so big he couldn't pull it back out and become anchored to the log. Well, all he's got to do is let go and live to fight another day. But that monkey thinks that nut is saving him. And the moral is, are we holding on to our own nut in life? But it's in the form of a bad relationship or a job or fear or a house or a car. And sometimes we have to have the courage and the fortitude to simply let go so that we can live to fight another day.
And I think that's so insightful, Dave, because it's that courage that anchors change. And let's face it, so many people will default to bad habits, bad relationships, because there's boundaries that are identified. They know what that means. Even if it's not good for them, they know what it's going to produce, and there's comfort in that.
Exactly. It's your subconscious always wants to go to whatever it's comfortable with. And so you need to learn new what I call winning habits to work on your subconscious so it steps into new models. And, Greg, I love the fact, you mentioned earlier about your 5 people that you spend time with. I'm going to spend more time with you, Greg. I know you've been trying to get me on the tennis court. Well, Nelson is a world-ranked tennis player, too. We're going to make a goal right now. If you're game for it, we're going to bring our rackets and show up with you.
Flexible and nimble. That's what echoes in my mind when I think of my tennis career. We're going to be bringing Roger Anthony out of the bush to talk to these very points and talk a little bit more about Deputus. You're listening to Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. This coaching is available to you. All you need to do is contact us direct, 888-888-2136, and you can be a beast, or simply text the word beast to 313131. Roger Anthony coming up.
If something happened to you, would you want the government deciding who takes care of your kids or who will inherit your assets? Do you want your children paying thousands of dollars in legal fees to probate attorneys? Don't let your family fall victim to probate or online estate planning. Nelson Radio recommends taking action now with their trusted friends at O.C. Wills and Trust Attorneys. Not only do their experienced attorneys create a comprehensive estate plan for you, but unlike those other internet sites that are not law firms, they provide you expert legal advice to make sure your plan is designed for your specific situation. The most important people in your life deserve an estate plan done right. Call today for a free consultation. 949-424-5292. That's 949-424-5292. Professional legal direction to protect your family. Call O.C. Wills and Trust's attorney at 949-424-5292 or text O.C. Wills to 313131.
Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136 or text BEAST to 313131.
Ducks Radio AM 830 KLAA.
And this is our Be a Beast on Angels Radio, AM 830 with Dave Austin, mental performance coach, and myself, Nelson. You need to reach out to us to get this kind of teeth into your goal setting, into your vision for 2014. 3 ways to connect with us, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or text the word BEAST to 313131, or just jump on the net at extremefocus.com and you'll be able to reach out to us. Dave, Greg Reed's encouragement, his direction is so spot on in the context of, like we all do, set our resolutions, our goals for our vision of 2014, and then there's that vaporizing where we settle back into old habits, and how to break that cycle.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is always my favorite segment of the show, where we go out and bring Roger Anthony out of the bush, who kind of puts the anchor to everything we've done in the show today. You know, he anchors it with this animal so that, you know, it triggers you when you want to drift off and kind of forget what your goal is, and you want to stay true to it. This trigger just puts you right back into it. Roger is a master, so we want to pull him out of the bush, bring out. So excited to bring you out again. And I know, Roger, we've talked about Deputus before, the meerkat, and we want to go deeper because our listeners are loving this anchor system that you've created, the #1 retention program that's been tested in the world. So, Roger, have we pulled you out of the bush?
Mate, here I am back out. I got rid of the leeches last week. I'm getting rid of the actual ticks all over me at the moment. But never mind, mate. I'm an Aussie and tough as nails, so let's get on with it.
Awesome.
So, Roger, help us along with Deputus, the meerkat, and something that we've had you coach us on before in terms of the value of goals and how that sets the seed for actually pursuing and realizing them.
One of the big things about goal setting, #1, is to remember that the subconscious mind, where all of our habits lie, our determination, our ability to perform after the emotion of making the decision has passed away. The big key is to realize that the subconscious mind doesn't care what it receives, and it's a goal-seeking mechanism. And so our meerkat, as we spoke about before, represents the importance of working together towards a common goal. Now, we may not have to have a group of people working towards a common goal. We do it in teams, in sports. We do it in the boardroom. But often we're setting goals on our own, and they're the toughest to achieve because you've got no accountability partners generally. And so the meerkat reminds us, the Deputus, DEPETUTIS, Deputus, PUTIS. So DEPUTIS, Deputus stands for, first of all, describe very clearly what it is you want to achieve. Now, a lot of us do that to some degree at the beginning of the year when we want to achieve, a health goal or join a gym or whatever it may be. But the big key, make it clear because the mind needs to see it clearly. And then following on from that, the PU in Deputus is what is the purpose of the goal. That gives you the value, and the value drives you forward. If you lose the purpose of it, which often happens just weeks into setting a goal, unfortunately, people lose sight of why they are really doing it and the value behind it. So describe clearly what is the purpose and then put a timeline on it. When am I going to start it? When am I going to finish it? And then lay out your strategy, which is the S in Deputus. So we look at this and we realize that when we get halfway through or quarter way through a goal and we've lost the motivation to achieve it, I'll guarantee you it's because we've lost the power of purpose and value. We've forgotten why we were excited about it at the beginning. We've let the actual busyness of the world and some of the stresses that we experience prevent us from remembering the driving force behind why we want to achieve the goal. And that's the purpose.
And I want to ask you right here, because it's so important, Dave, as you know, as we pursue things and pursue change, it's either pain-induced or proactive. And so many people, I mean, just setting the stage like we talked about earlier, they got their running shoes on, brand new Christmas running shoes on week 1. Week 2, they can't tie their shoes because they're so ding-dang sore. And week 3, the shoes get hung up for the year, and the goals are evaporating. And so this establishing the value, and Deputus, what I see, the community of people that are surrounding you to hold you accountable to those goals.
I was going to say, absolutely, and with this Deputus too, just that one word, when you think of it, it just can snap you back into it. Because in those moments when you want to quit, which we all have, is something that triggers you to step right back into it, the strength of it. Then you get into the energy of the goal rather than trying to get there. Would you like to add to that, Roger?
Yeah, absolutely. Two of the greatest, and we'll talk a little bit about this a little later on in one of our other segments, but two of the greatest motivating forces known to mankind is fear and desire. Now, desire is the main driving force towards the achievement of our goals, the ability to maintain the motivation to achieve regardless of what we encounter along the way. And that comes through our emotional system as a result of remembering the value behind what you're about to achieve. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to your family? What does it mean to the community? What does it mean to your team or your colleagues at work? The big key is remember the value at all times. And when the emotion of having made the initial decision has passed away, you've still got the driving force taking you forward because you haven't forgotten what it's all about and what it will achieve for you.
Sage Coaching. Thank you, Roger Anthony, coming out of the bush with Deputus, the meerkat, and establishing that value that'll help you surge through those things that distract you. As we close out the program, Dave, we've got to always bring attention back to Operation Homefront. Just want to comment on that briefly. You'll be able to find out more on Operation Homefront, but bottom line, here's what the program is doing. It's allowing our wounded warriors, returning veterans from military service, to move into a new home, be responsible for the taxes, insurance, and maintenance on that new home. And at the end of 12 months, get this, that home is awarded to them free and clear as a gesture of thanks for their military service. Fabulous program, and one we stand behind and endorse. Want you to find out more about that. Contact us direct. You can reach out to us at 888-2136, 888-888-2136. Click through at extremefocus.com or simply text the word BEAST to 313131, and we'll help coach you on realizing these goals opening up here in 2014 so that you can progress towards them and achieve them.
Let's go get it in 2014.
Offer extended. Offer not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my Mortgage Market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Call or click 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.